Rehashing ideas with no new takes. Give us new stuff for genius sake. Entertaining stuff you need to make. That old Yorkshire Geek with stories to unfold. Keep your eyes wide open and your soul won't grow cold. In the realm of the strange and the fantastical.
Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Oh, excuse me. And welcome to the next episode of my series, my top 5 films from every year since I was born, or whatever. Oh, my camera's moved, hasn't it? There we go. That's better. Right, so, and Windgrace is here already, saying, I wonder if Dutch Angles, the motion picture, will make this list. Dutch Angles, the motion... I have no idea of which film you refer. We will see, won't we? I have no idea. But anyway... right, so yes, the year 2000 we're up to, as you can see there, with a picture of the face on Mars, which is a clue to one of the films. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. It'll help the algorithm or whatever, get the channel in more recommendations or something. That film, a John Travolta and Forest Whitaker sci-fi film. I think it might be in my honourable mentions. Honestly can't remember. Anyway, so explore the description for links for stuff like merch and my books. They're under there. And what else? Me other websites and my other channels and social medias and all that stuff. Become a member and then you get early access videos and exclusive videos and all that cool stuff. Join the live chat if you've been a subscriber for over a day. But we've been lucky. We haven't had any disruptive people coming on, but fingers crossed. I've probably death sentence. Anywho, so top 5 films from the year 2000. Shall we get on with it? We will get on with it. I shall add my first one to the stage. By the way, this is my personal top 5 favourite films, not necessarily the best films of the year. Or even the top grossing films, not the top films of that year. It's my personal list, and then we've got a lot of honourable mentions. I don't know how many. Right, so we will begin. So number 1, they're not in any order either, by the way. It's just a list. It's not a countdown or anything. So the first one might not be my favourite film of the year, or it might be. I don't know. But anyway, number 1 is Gladiator from Ridley Scott, starring Russell Crowe and many others. Who else is in it? Joaquin Phoenix, Derek Jacobi. I forgot her name. Her who never ages. She was in Wonder Woman as well. What do they call her? I think she's Swedish. Connie Nielsen as well. In my opinion, Ridley Scott's best film is Gladiator. He went through a bit of a phase doing really good films. I think 2001, he had Black Hawk Down came out a year after this, I think. And that was another really good film. So he was going through a good phase, with Ridley Scott. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe he just got old and couldn't make good films anymore. But and a great score from Hans Zimmer. And it is a really good film. It's, they try to say it's based on a true story. It's not. It's not based on historical events or anything like that. Although there are actual people in it, like, Emperor Commodus, but he was nothing like he's portrayed in the film. But it's about Russell Crowe, who plays a Roman general. Maximus, I forgot his name now, Decius Maximus Meridius, or whatever it's called. Was it called a Spaniard? I didn't know Spain were a thing back then. I thought it was called something else, but I'm probably wrong. But he's from Spain, but he's a Roman general. So is he just living in Spain? They keep calling him the Spaniard, but is he Roman as in Italian, or is he actual? If he were from Spain, then it would be like I don't know, like an auxiliary, something like that, wouldn't it? But I don't know. But whatever. As a Roman general, the emperor dies. The emperor is killed by Commodus, Emperor Marcus Aurelius, played by Richard Harris. We also get Oliver Reed in his final film. He actually died before they finished making the film, so they had to rustle up some footage for his final scenes. Anyway, he gets a death sentence. They're going to execute him, but they don't. They do it wrong, and he ends up being a gladiator, as said in the title. And it's a cool film, some really great arena scenes and gladiatorial scenes. It is, as I said, I think it's Ridley Scott's best film. I think Russell Crowe won the Oscar, didn't he, that year for Best Actor? I don't know if Gladiator itself won. Let's check, shall we? Oscars, it'll be 2001 Oscars, won't it? So we'll have a look. 73rd Academy Awards. Right, Best Picture. Yes, Gladiator won for Best Picture. Russell Crowe won for Best Actor in a Leading Role. So that's 2. I think that might be it. we've got Best Sound as well. So that's 3 Oscars it won so far. Best Costume Design, Gladiator, that's 4. Best Visual Effects, Gladiator, that's 5. So there we go. Yes, it won 5. It had 12 nominations and won 5. So cool. Yeah, really good film. As I said, I think it's his best film. What's that one there for? Wingray says, riddle me this, Scott. I don't know. Again, Wingrace going over my head. Wingrace is like, is a super intelligent mega being from another dimension. And his puns often go over my head because I can't think laterally because I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'm thinking now, the Riddler, but Jim Carrey's not in Gladiator. I say Ridley Scott. Riddle me this. Yes. Oh, it came to me all of a sudden. Yes, I know. It came to me before you said that. I told you I'm stupid. I was thinking like the Riddler, Jim Carrey, or what's his name now? Gershon. Bob Gershon. Don't sound right. Whatever. Him from the original. But anyway. So there we go. So that's Gladiator. That's the first one. Number 2, X-Men from Bryan Singer. Possibly, the first of the big, what you could like that, the relaunch of the superhero movie. Yes, Frank Gershon or whatever it was. That's what it. Yeah, I know Bob didn't sound right. Did John Astin play him as well? And John Astin, I didn't know John Astin had played the Riddler as well. And Justin's here saying hello all. Hello, Justin. Welcome. You haven't missed anything. Gladiator was the first one. We're on the second one. X-Men. As I said, from Bryan Singer, stars. I'm blanking. I always blank on bloody names. Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, and many more. Anna Paquin and all that stuff. He was the Riddler in one episode. All right, okie dokie. And Adam's here. Oh, hang on, what am they? Adam's here. Good evening from Scarborough. Welcome. I've been to Scarborough. My sister lives in Scarborough, or close to Scarborough. Anyway, maybe you've seen her up and down. Who knows? Dear. If you don't know, Scarborough is a North Yorkshire seaside town. If you're not from around here, I know there's a Scarborough in Canada as well. Maybe Adam Gamer's in Canada. I don't know. I only know that because I've got some old Queen albums, when Queen albums used to come out on Elektra Records, and the address on the back, Elektra Records, Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Anyway, Which one has the fair? I have no idea. But I know the reference. But anyway, where were we? X-Men. Yes. So yeah. As I said, perhaps the I think the first of the resurgence of superhero movies, and the year after, or the year after that, I can't remember when the first Spider-Man came out, but this was the first one of the modern superhero fare, you could say, or the serious blockbuster superhero fare. But anyway, and it's a really good film. It was improved in X-Men 2, which is a better film, but this one, is well worth a look, and one of my favourite films of that year. So there we go. So that's X-Men. I always wondered, why did they call the second one just X2? Why did they just call it X-Men 2? They always just call it X2, didn't they? Weird. Maybe they were being woke, and they're not all men. Anyway, next up, Mission to Mars, which is what that image is from. I love this film. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love this film because I'm I used to be a bit of a UFO buff and into all that ancient aliens and all that stuff, which I still am. But yeah, Mission to Mars, directed by Brian De Palma, and starring Tim Robbins. I'm trying to think. And Connie Nielsen again is in this one. Yes, she is, Connie Nielsen. Don Cheadle, Gary Sinise, Gary Sinise. Jerry O'Connell is in it as well, and some other people. And it is I really like this film. It came out the same year as Red Planet, which, were different, but it was the same as in it was set on Mars. There were quite a few Mars films knocking about, weren't there, in the early 2000s. But they never seemed to do very well. So I think there was a thing going around Hollywood that Mars films were always cursed, which is why they didn't call John Carter originally John Carter of Mars. They just put it on at the end, didn't they? But they were like, what is it? Mars Needs Moms and films like that all bombed. And I think this bombed. I think Red Planet bombed as well. But anyway, Justin says Mission to Mars is excellent. Yes, I think it is. As I said, it's in my top 5 favourites. Winggrace, I like both of those. Yeah, I like both of them as well. But Red Planet didn't make it into my top 5, but I think it's in my honourable mentions. But yeah, Mission to Mars, it's all about the face on Mars, which, if you don't know, yes, Mars Attacks as well. Yes, as well. Which is leading in my poll for next week's Magnificent Mondays. Mars Attacks is in the lead so far. Where were we? Oh, right, yes. There's a manned mission to Mars. I don't know what year it's supposed to be set in. But they find the detect a signal coming from a mound, a mesa on Mars. So they go and investigate, and then they fire the signal back at it or something for some reason. And then a big whirlwind comes out and kills them all, apart from Don Cheadle. And then when the dust settles, we can see that the mesa, the hill, has become the face on Mars. Which, if you believe that sort of thing, is a real thing on Mars. It was first photographed by the Viking orbiter, and it is it's a hill that does look a lot like a face, and maybe a bit too much like a face. A lot of people think it is artificial because of its proximity to other features on Mars that look like pyramids, and a lot of maths as well, and alignments. And I suppose you can do alignments for anything, can't you, if you want to. But anyway. But yes, it's a really good film. And the story goes, I remember when this film came out, I was actually writing for a UFO magazine. And the story went that, I don't know if it's true, but there were rumours that the end of the film had to be completely rewritten. And I don't know if it was rewritten to show the truth or rewritten to hide the truth. I don't know. So I can't remember what the rumour was. But anyway, and Winggrace says, and they just found life there, but shush, the news is keeping that quiet. Yes, well, they may have found evidence of past life on Mars. Is that what it is? I think it's past life, isn't it? But I still think there is life there, probably underground, But I don't mean like Martians. I mean like, simple life, single cell organisms. I think at the most there might be some mosses. There are some weird images though. There are some weird images that come from the rovers that are knocking about and the orbiters that do seem to show things that don't look, things that look alive, and it is weird. And Justin believes. Yes, I believe. I believe too. You've got to believe some things, haven't you? The face is real. There are even rumours, I remember with the face on Mars, there are even rumours that NASA tried to blow it up, which is why one side of the face has collapsed. I don't think that's true. But anyway, the face in Antarctica is even cooler. There's like an alien face, isn't there? It looks like an alien grey. They must be connected. Maybe so. Maybe Antarctica had a Martian base. We're all Martians anyway. We're originally from Mars. Not just men, because women are from Venus. I don't mean that. But some people think that humans originally came from Mars. And there were a big cataclysm on that planet. And we had to move away. And we came back and became the Egyptians and the Toltecs and the Mayans. Some believe them. No, I went to Battlestar Galactica mode there. But anyway. So yeah, Mission to Mars, great film. With some great effects in it as well, and a good use of rotating sets, because they do like 2001 where they go walking around the set, so it's supposed to be a spinning ring thing. But great film. I really like Mission to Mars, and I've probably talked about it too long, but I don't care. Next up, Final Destination, the first of the Final Destination franchise. I don't know how many we're up to now. Is it 6 or 7? Can't remember, but I really like them. I really like the Final Destination series. They've kind of veered off from how it was originally. I think it's a Canadian film. I think classed as Canadian films. Created by James Wong and Glenn Morgan. Originally as an episode of The X-Files. But that didn't get made, so I thought, sod it, we'll rewrite it as a movie script. So anyway, it got picked up, and they made it into Final Destination. It's about a group of young, it's more or less in that time of like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's that sort of glossy teen horror, but they're all on a plane headed for France. On like a school trip, and this chap at the front has I forgot his name, Devon Sauer, has like a vision of the plane exploding, them all dying, and then the vision ends. He says, "We've got to get off the plane." So him and some others get thrown off the plane. Then the plane blows up. I'm not spoiling much. The plane blows up. And then death stalks the survivors, and they're all supposed to die in the same order that they would have died on the plane, and all that stuff. And gruesome hijinks ensue. But in this first one, death is kind of like, I don't know, like a Frank Spencer sort of character. Death is almost a character in this film, almost a physical presence, because you see like shadows moving across things as though that is death coming to do something, and they kind of did away with that in the later films. It just became like a force. Death were a force that couldn't be escaped. In the early ones, particularly the first one, it seemed like death were a physical thing, as though death were going to get them. But they're a lot of fun. I really like the Final Destination films, and the first one is well worth it. Ali Larter in an early role, and I can never remember his name. Is it there? No, he hasn't even got his blooming name there, look. Sean William Scott. I seem to remember not being able to remember his name before. Anyway. So there we go, Final Destination. Which was that one? Was that 3 or 4? I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Next up. That was 4, wasn't it? Next up, Space Cowboys, which we did recently on Magnificent Mondays. I think this is a genuinely great film. Clint Eastwood stars and directed it. Also got Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland, James Garnett, it says there, and others. Who else is in it? Oh, can't remember his bloody name now. Does it? Can I make it out? James Garner. Yes, it's what's his face? Farmer Hoggett from Babe. Star Trek chap, invented the warp drive. I'm blanking on his name. Wyngrace knows his name. Me and bloody names. But yes, anyway, they've got to go. They're former astronauts, or they were going to be astronauts. That's it. That's the fella, James Cromwell. I know it was James, but we're all blanking. James Cromwell is kind of the baddie, but not really. So there's no baddies in it as such. They were going to be astronauts in the 50s, late 50s, but then NASA was created. It stopped being. Thank you, Justin. NASA was created, I think 1958. I think NASA was created, wasn't it? So they got bumped from the space program, from the Air Force space program, and they didn't become astronauts. But they carried on working in various fields, particularly Clint Eastwood, who apparently developed a software system for Skylab or something. And it turns out the Russians managed to get hold of this system, this operating system, and used it on one of their satellites, which turns out has loads of nuclear missiles on it, and it starts malfunctioning. So they've got to send up a team to go and fix it. And it's a bit like Armageddon. Instead of training some, clever young astronauts to go and sort it out, they've got to send up this old team of doddery old buggers to sort it out. And it is a lot of fun. It is I like this better than Armageddon, to be completely honest. It is really a lot of fun with some great effects in it, and a poignant, sad ending, which I'll not spoil. But anyway. So there we go, that's Space Cowboys. I think that was the last one, yes. So we'll go through it in reverse order. Pardon me, even though they're not in any order. So we've got Space Cowboys, Final Destination, Mission to Mars, X-Men, and Gladiator. That's my top five favourite films of the year 2000, when we all survived Y2K. Thank goodness. Right, so honourable mentions coming up. Right, so just let me get me. I keep doing that. I keep double clicking it, thinking it's going to go out of full screen, and it never does. Right, so where have I put it? Oh, there. Right, so here we go with my honourable mentions. I don't know how many there is. I think there's like 20 odd again, because I can't pick and choose. There's my F11. Right, again, they're not in any order, so here we go. There it is, the first one, Disney's Dinosaur. I really like this film. I remember seeing the trailer for it in the cinema. I don't know what film we went to see. Can't remember. But there was a trailer for this, and the trailer really blew me away at the time. It was really, really good. And the film, I think, were pretty good as well. Wasn't a fan on the lemurs, the family of lemurs that adopt a iguanodon called Aladar. But apart from that, it is a lot of fun. It's about essentially the death of the dinosaurs, because it's set just before the KT incident, where the asteroid or whatever it is crashes into the Chicxulub Peninsula in Mexico. But anyway, but then these dinosaurs have got to make their way to the essentially it's the land before time, isn't it? They've got to make their way to the Lost Valley, or I can't remember what they call it now. The land of milk and honey, where they've got to get to. But they're being stalked by, I think, Tarbosauruses. That doesn't sound right. Carnosauruses. They're being stalked by them, and they've got to, outwit them and all stuff like that. And it is a lot of fun with some, great CG. Actually, I haven't watched it for a while, so I don't know if it stands up. But it's not like one of these fully CG films. It's not like, I don't know, Avatar. It's got like fully CG landscapes and stuff. They actually went out and filmed landscapes and plonked dinosaurs, CG dinosaurs into it. Wyngrace has never watched this one. It is a good film. I do like it. And family friendly, because it's a Disney one. But so there we go. So that's Disney's Dinosaur. Next up, what's next? Pitch Black. from David Toohey, the first of the Riddick films. And to be honest, not my favourite of the Riddick films. In fact, there's been 3 Riddick films, haven't there, so far? There's been Pitch Black, which introduced us to Richard B. Riddick, who would turn out to be an alien. It kind of got a bit weird, didn't it? But I think they're all technically aliens. I don't know what's happened with Earth. And I'm not even sure what year it's set in, but anyway. We had Pitch Black, and then we had Chronicles of Riddick. And then when Chronicles of Riddick came out, they retitled Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, didn't they? And then we had just Riddick, didn't we, after that? Which I like. I like Riddick better than this one. But this is a pretty good film. It's, a straightforward sci-fi horror. A spaceship crashes on a planet. And the survivors, they find out this planet, it goes through a cycle of like long periods of darkness, because the sun eclipses, loads of moons pass in front of this sun and eclipse it for a long time, or a planet, or whatever, but it gets eclipsed for a long time. But trouble is, when the sun is eclipsed, monsters come out, these deadly creatures, deadly alien creatures come out and, kill everything. But it is a lot of fun. As I said, directed by David Toohey, story by Jim and Ken Wheat, who I think for me is most famous for, I think they did, Jim and Ken Wheat that did the Ewoks films, I'm sure it was, and maybe Harry and the Hendersons. Could have been. I'm going to look them up now. I've got to look them up. I'm sure I remember seeing their names on Harry and the Hendersons and the 2 Ewoks films. I'll just type it, Jim and Ken Wheat. Wikipedia, right. Ken and Jim Wheat. Actually, wrote also Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I didn't know that. Yes, Ewoks Battle for Endor. They wrote that one. So they didn't do the first one then. What else? Oh, they didn't do The Fly 2 as well. It's another of my favourite horror films. Oh, they didn't do Harry and the Hendersons. Who did that then? I'm sure I remember seeing their names on Harry and the Hendersons. I'm going to look that up now. Harry and the Hendersons. Who wrote? Oh, William D. No, hang on, where are we? William Deere. William Deere wrote that. Fair enough. Why did I think that? Anyway, whatever. Pitch Black. A lot of fun. With some decent effects. But as I said, not my favourite of the Pitch Black films, but it's still worth a look. I love Chronicles of Riddick. I absolutely adore that film. A lot of people don't like it. I don't know why. I think it's amazing. I think it's a master. I genuinely think Chronicles of Riddick is a masterpiece. Because it's got everything. I think it's amazing. But anyway. Next up. U571. Based on a true story. Hang on. Wingray says, weren't they planning a show? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Do I remember that? I can't remember. Probably. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. I thought we were doing another film. I thought I had another film planned. But I think the strikes and all that stuff scuppered that. I think COVID and the strikes paid to the Riddick film. Maybe it's going to be a show. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, U571. Who's in this? I can't remember. I know John Bon Jovi's in it, isn't it? That's all I can remember. Who else is in it? Let's have a read. Matthew McConaughey. All right. Bill Paxton. Harvey Keitel. John Bon Jovi. Who else? I can't bloody read these now. David Keith. Thomas Kretschmann. And a Jonathan Mostow film. I think before he would go on to direct Terminator 3. Wingray says, hang on. Justin says, love U571. Good film. It is a good film, but it's not exactly historically accurate. But they never are they? I mean, if people go to watch a film thinking it's going to be historically accurate, they're generally going to be disappointed, aren't they? But it's a ripping yarn. It is a good film, loosely based on the true story of how the Allies acquired the the I forgot the bloody call it. Thingy device from the Germans. Enigma. How they got the Enigma device from the Germans. The code breaking machine. But with this submarine, we're on this submarine. I mean, and they got it from there. But the truth is, they even had to put a caption in the film, didn't they, saying the British had actually got an Enigma decoder machine months before, or something like that, which we had. Winger says, I used to love this movie, but I kind of forgot about it a decade ago. Pretty much. Pretty much. I haven't seen it for a while, but it is a good film. It is a good film. Moving on. There we go. Dutch angles and all that. Battlefield Earth, take back the planet. A guilty pleasure is this one. I kind of do genuinely, I don't know. Do I genuinely like it? It's one of those films that maybe it's so bad, it's good. Anyway, John Travolta, Forrest Whitaker, what do they call him? I forgot his name. We're in Saving Private Ryan as well, wasn't it? Does it say his name on here? Let's have a look on the poster. Why aren't he there? Oh, there we go. Barry Pepper. That's the fella, Barry Pepper. Set in the year, what was it? A Tale of the Year 3000. Anyway, sorry. No, but there is on the DVD the actual war footage of the true story. It was mainly British, though USA got some stuff also. What do you mean, no? Yes, there was a caption in the film saying, the Enigma device had been got earlier. But anyway, that's by the by. We're on to Battlefield Earth now. A Tale of the Year 3000, directed by Roger Christian, who had also worked on Star Wars, and in the commentary on the DVD, he just tells us about that all the time. I worked on Star Wars, Anyway, aliens invaded Earth in the year 2000 or something like that. And the invasion, they conquered Earth in something like 9 minutes or something like that. No, I mean, it was a tall tale. All right. Battlefield Earth is also based on a true story. It's L. Ron Hubbard, isn't it? Anyway, Earth gets invaded by the Cyclones, something like that. Terrible name. And why is it showing these? I don't know. Do we see these in the film? I can't remember. But anyway. And humanity has obviously regressed into like cavemen again, or simpler times, because Earth has been, conquered, and all that's left is just tribes of humans scattered about. But then Barry Pepper pops up, and John Travolta decides to stick, who is the governor, the Cyclone governor, and he hams it up all the way through the film. He's having a great time. As I said, based on a story by L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. John Travolta, a famous Scientologist. He plays like the leader of the Cyclones on Earth. It's like like I said, like the governor or whatever. And he decided to put Barry Pepper in a learning machine so he'll learn how to do things. So that makes him more intelligent. So he starts, a revolution against the Cyclones, and they end up finding, spoilers, a secret base from 1,000 years earlier that's still got working Harrier jump jets and stuff in it, and it is mental. It is a completely stupid film, but it's a lot of fun as well, and worth a couple of hours of your time. And you probably watch it and think, stupid that old Yorkshire Geek is just waste. I'll not get them 2 hours back. But I like it. Next. Mission Impossible 2. Tom Cruise. Who else is in it? What's his face? Wow, man. Bloody names. Let's have a look, see if we can see on the poster. Tandy Newton, who's not called that anymore. She's got different letters on the names, hasn't she? Doug Ray Scott, that's what we're thinking of. Doug Ray Scott, Tandy Newton. Richard Roxburgh. Is he the one that played Dracula in Van Helsing? Or is he the one that played one of the leader of the dwarves in The Hobbit? No, he was the Dracula fellow, wasn't he, I think? Anyway, and Ving Rhames, obviously, back. This is pre-Simon Pegg. This is where Tom Cruise hangs off a cliff, and I think we get doves in it because it's a John Woo film. You know what? I can't actually remember what happens in it. I remember quite enjoying it, but a lot of people think of this as the worst of the Mission Impossible films, which maybe it is. But I genuinely can't remember what happens in it. I honestly can't. But I remember enjoying it when I saw it, and it's made my list. So there. But the next film was better, and the films after that were even better still. So there. And now they're over, aren't they? Apparently. But anyway. Right, next one, Titan AE. Is this the film that broke Don Bluth Films, Don Bluth Studios? I think it is, isn't it? A really good animated sci-fi movie. I don't know who directed it. Did Don Bluth direct it? Can't remember. It says on the poster. Yes, Don Bluth and Gary Goldman. What voices have we got in this? Does it tell us? Matt Damon, Bill Pullman, John Leguizamo, Nathan Lane, and Janine Garofalo, and Drew Barrymore. Again, another film set in the future where Earth gets destroyed, literally. Because that's why it's called Titan AE, which means after Earth. Wingray says, been waiting for this one. Oh, right. Gets destroyed by the... I can't remember what they call them. The baddies. I forgot what they call them. Humanity, so humans escape, so we end up being like an endangered species, was scattered to the galaxy, as refugees and stuff. But they've got a ship that can, I don't know, save humanity. I don't know, called the Titan, and it's been hidden away, and it's up to one man to find it and fight off the bad guys and all that stuff. Yes, that's it, the Dredge. That's it. Yes. And it's got some really, good animation and some, decent CGI mixed in, and it's a really good film with a good score, with some good songs in it. But it is well worth a look. And as I said, I think it cost a lot of money. I don't know how much exactly, but I think it bankrupted Don Bluth Studios. Let's have a look. Titan AE 2000 film. Budget 75 to 90 million. Its box office 36.8. So yes, I think this ended up closing down Don Bluth Studios. Anyway, so there we go. Pardon me. But it's still worth a look. It is a good film. Oh, cracking, Justin. Oh, crack. Where are we? A $4 super sticker. Thank you, Justin. I've got to go and open this now to check what it is. Let's have a look. What is the $4 super sticker? Bear with me. Lots of clicking going on. Hang on, I've pressed the wrong button because I'm stupid. Right, where is it? Where are you? Oh, it's a pussycat with a bone. Was it a dog? Is it a little dog or is it a little cat? It's got a bone anyway. But anyway, thank you, Justin. Hugely appreciated. Helps keep the lights on and stuff. Wingray says, well, I bought it on VHS. I hope that helped. Yes, I've got the DVD. I think it's a corgi. Oh, is it a corgi? Right, so that explains the bone. Queen Elizabeth's favourite dogs. I wonder what happened to her corgis then after she died. Is Prince Charles looking after them? Burying. But yes, just Wingray says, bought it on VHS. Hope that helped. Yes, I've got the DVD. I'll have to see if I can get the Blu-ray. I'll have to do it one day on Magnificent Mondays. But yes, well worth a look. A really good film. And there's some good voice acting. Bill Pullman the baddie in it? I think he is, isn't he? Spoilers, but never mind. Anyway, right, so next up, Chicken Run. Aardman animation. Have they ever put a foot wrong? I don't know. Yeah, they have. That flushed away. That wasn't great, was it? But because I think that was CG, wasn't it? Dip the toe in CG. But this is an Aardman animation, stop motion claymation, whatever you want to call it, film with some great voices, with what's his face, Mel Gibson, and various British actors appear in it. I don't know if it tells us on the poster who's in it, but never mind. Directed by Nick Park, Peter Lord and Nick Park, and it is a lot of fun. Chickens on a farm, and Tweedy's farm, and obviously another chicken arrives somehow. I think he'd been fired out of a cannon because he was in a circus or something, and he ends up there, voiced by Mel Gibson. And the plot to escape is essentially The Great Escape, but with chickens. And this way, nobody escaped from Tweedy's farm. There we go. Wingers says, I like Flushed Away, but it wasn't amazing. Yeah, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't as good as they usually are, the Aardman films. But Chicken Run is great stuff. It's great stuff. But Mrs. Tweedy wants to put them all into pies, and she's going to make a big pie-making machine and stuff. And one of the chickens says, I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. And it was the only way, he wouldn't do it now, the only way when he were a kid to get my son to eat like a chicken pie. We used to have a pie maker. Might still have it somewhere, I don't know. Where you used to put your pastry in and used to buy that chicken in a tin, shove it in, and say, eat this, it's a Tweedy's pie. And he would, because he loved Chicken Run. But yeah, great film is Chicken Run. Aardman up there, not quite best. They were at the best with Wallace and Gromit, weren't they? They still are, to be honest. But Chicken Run is well worth a look, as is Pirates, an adventure with scientists. That is hilarious. I beat myself laughing at that film. But anyway, next up. Me, Myself and Irene, Jim Carrey, Renée Zellweger, and who else is in it? I'm sure somebody else is in it, but let's have a look. It's a Farrelly Brothers film, isn't it? Yes. Who else is in it? Can I read this? Renée Zellweger. Chris Cooper, Robert Forster, Richard Jenkins. Blimey, some big names there, aren't there? But anyway, plays, is he a state trooper or something like that? Who's kind of got split personality, which is what this means. One side of him's all meek, and the other side's kind of evil, and he's got to protect Renée Zellweger. She's in like protective custody or something like that, because baddies are after or whatever. I can't really remember the main gist of the story. I just remember Jim Carrey being hilarious again. Lots of inappropriate humour. The milk lip part. It's not for kids. Let's put it that way. It's not for kids. Is this film? I don't think there's any like bad language in it. I don't think. I could be wrong. But there's lots of other inappropriate stuff that's not for kids. Or kids be saying, "I don't understand. What's that, ma'am?" Anyway. But yes, it is hilarious in my opinion, and but anyway, and Renée Zellweger's an idiot because she doesn't realise when the bad, I don't remember the name of his character, but the bad side of the character comes out. Anyway, next up, Mel Gibson again. We just heard him in Chicken Run. Now he's saving America before America existed in The Patriot, an epic film of the American Revolution, directed by me and names, Independence Day chap, Stargate, etc. Roland Emmerich, yay, got there in the end. Directed by Roland Emmerich, and Jason Isaacs as a great moustache twirling bad guy, but it's got some great battle scenes in it, and it is really good. I remember at the time it wasn't particularly well received, but I think opinions on it have kind of mellowed a bit over the years, and a lot of people seem to like this film. But I liked it from the beginning. But I'm a bit of a Roland Emmerich fan, even though he's a bit of an idiot. But anyway. I think the only Roland Emmerich film I've not seen is Anonymous, that film he did about Shakespeare. I think I've seen all these others, pretty much. We can say another true story. But yeah, The Patriot, good film. I think his family, does his son or some of his family get killed by the British because we're all evil. You don't get to control the largest empire the world has ever seen, by being nice all the time, for crying out loud. But anyway, so he ends up going a bit Hawkeye from Last of the Mohicans and taking on the British, and a bit like Braveheart as well. It's another Braveheart thing, isn't it? Sort of. But anyway, so there we go. That's The Patriot. Well worth a look, and not as bad as it were made out to be when it came out. But anyway, in this one, you can't take our land or our freedom. Not your land, though, is it? Anyway, Patriot, good film. Yes, it is. It is a good film. That's why it's on my list. Next up, Perfect Storm. This was the first DVD I ever owned, I think, because it came with my first DVD player I bought. I remember back in the day, I bought a DVD player. Can't remember where I got it from. It might have been off Amazon back in the day. Can't remember, but it was a multi-region DVD player. I'm sure it was something like £199, something like that. But got this free with it, Perfect Storm. I think I've watched it once. Quite enjoyed it, which is why it's made my list. I do remember enjoying it at the time. I've just never got round to watching it again. I might have seen it twice. But it was the first film, I think, to fully utilise CG water. Another one that's based on a true story. But anyway, hang on, I'm still about The Patriot. 1/38 of my land. And Justin thinks this one's a good one as well. It is. As I said, I think it was the first film to get CG water right, because they'd struggled before, hadn't they, to do CG water. But anyway, directed by Wolfgang Petersen, who passed away recently, I think, didn't he, in the last year or so. We've done loads of films, Das Boot and In the Line of Fire, Never Ending Story, Enemy Mine, stuff like that. Yeah, great director. And it stars George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and some other people. Who else is in it, does it say? Diane Lane, William Fichtner, Karen Allen, Bob Gunton, there we go, and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, whatever happened to her, and John C. Reilly, with music by James Horner. How could this film go wrong? Did it? I don't know. Did it do well? I don't know. But anyway, it is a good film. As I said, I think loosely based or whatever on a true story of a fishing boat that went out and this terrible storm came and stuff happened and all that. And all that stuff, they survived it. Look, it's going vertical up that wave. Justin, this land is my land, this land is your land. I remember back in the day, I can't remember when it was, there was like a video with an animated film with, what was his name now? Him that was running for president. Never mind. It was hilarious anyway. True story, very sad. Yes. Did they make it back? I can't remember if they did or not. Can't remember. Anyway, I'll have to watch it again. Anyway, that's Perfect Storm. Next up, scary movie. Let's get some laughs in. The first scary movie film, the first two scary movie films were very rude. Lots of, again, not for kids. So there's lots of fluids and stuff in the first two films. But they are very, very funny and daft. From the third one on, I think they were taken over. It were the Wayans brothers that did the first two. Justin says no, they didn't make it back. Is that what you're trying to tell me? The first two by the Wayans brothers, Keenan Ivory Wayans, and the other one. Does it say here? I hope so. Where are we? Can't read the bloody thing. Oh, Keenan. Oh, that's Keenan Ivory Wayans. Where's the other one? I'm sure they're both in it. Oh, there, Marlon Wayans and more, Sean Wayans, loads of Wayans brothers. Shannon Elizabeth, oh, is she in it as well? I wasn't paying attention. Is she there? Yes, she's there, Shannon Elizabeth. Which is that? Oh, that's her, isn't it? Who's that then? Don't know. But anyway, it takes the mickey out of scary movies, particularly Scream with the mask and all that stuff. But they do other films as well, and it's really really funny. It's really really funny. Oh, there's somebody else in it as well. Or was she in the second one? See if I can see the name. Carmen Electra. Where is she? Anna Faris. It was the film that became famous for Anna Faris, wasn't it? She was essentially the star, even though she's quite low down. But a lot of fun. As I said, the first two are really rude. It's not for kids. From 3 onwards, how many were there? Were there 5 altogether? I'm not sure. But from 3 onwards, a little bit more family friendly. The Abrams and Jerry Zucker and all the Zuckers and Abrams and all that, and Pat Proft, or I don't know. The Airplane guys took it over, so it became more like slapstick and visual gags and stuff after that, didn't it? But still funny. So there we go. That's a scary movie. Next up, Hollow Man, a Paul Verhoeven film, and in my opinion, the best Invisible Man film out there, because he actually was invisible. Not like that new Invisible Man film where he wasn't invisible. It was a suit. Spoilers. But I didn't hate the film. It just annoyed me. Anyway, Elizabeth Shue, Kevin Bacon, and I think a youngish. Look at the poster. Josh Brolin. There we go. Kim Dickens. I think gets some boobs out in this. Greg Grunberg, friend of J.J. Abrams. William Devane, I think he plays like a general or a colonel or somebody in charge that ends up coming to a sticky end. Yes, Scary Movie 6 is coming next year, so 5 currently. All right then. 3 was good after not so much. 3, are we talking about Scary Movie now? I'm not sure. Or about Hollow Man, I don't know. But anyway. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, a real good film, amazing effects for the time. When he just doesn't turn invisible, he kind of turns invisible in layers. So like you see his skin disappears, and then you can see his muscles, and they disappear. You can see his blood vessels and stuff, and then his skeleton, and then eventually becomes invisible. It is really really good and quite gruesome in places. But worth a look. And he goes crazy. It's spoilers. It's Kevin Bacon that becomes the Hollow Man, and he kind of goes crazy. It's also got I don't think her name's down there. Rona Mitra. So I've got Rona Mitra in a role, an early role for her before she became a proper actress. I think she was in film Doomsday. I think that's her biggest starring role she's been in. Doomsday. But I think the first thing she's famous for, Rona Mitra, she was the original, well, not original, for the first Tomb Raider game on the PS1, she was like the public face of Lara Croft was Rona Mitra. Anyway, so she's been in this, and I think he attacks it. He goes crazy, does Kevin Bacon's character, once he's invisible, and does things he's not supposed to do. Anyway, and there's deaths ensue, and it is well worth it. It is a really good film. Another film that I haven't seen for a long time, and I'm going to have to watch it again. There's at least one sequel, isn't there? Which I can't remember if I've seen it or not. I probably have. I think I've got it on DVD somewhere, so I will have seen it. Winger says, yes, Hollow Man, Hollow Men, and then Hollow Mthunnan is the progression of this franchise. The second one, I can't remember what happens in it. But I remember it being not too bad. But not as good as this one. I think this is a class. This is the best Invisible Man film, in my opinion. Even better than the original one with Claude Rains from 1933, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, next up, The Cell. Jennifer Lopez, Vince Vaughn, Vincent D'Onofrio, directed by that fella who directed that other film. that were weird, and which I can't remember. And he's got a weird name. There we go, Tarsum Singh, that fella. But it's a weird one. Is this all about going into people's minds? But it's great visuals in it. Was Christian Slater in the second one? Is that who's in the second one? Can't remember. Just says, Rona Mitra's huge crush of mine, Beowulf. What's in Beowulf? Oh, what, the animated one? I don't know. I can't remember. But that's it. She were in Doomsday. I mostly remember her from that. I know she's been in other stuff as well. Oh, she were in Stargate, wasn't she? With Rona Mitra. She played in Stargate Universe. She was one of the Lucian Alliance people that got onto the Destiny. That was Rona Mitra, wasn't it? I think she died pretty quickly. Maybe they couldn't afford her. Anywho, The Cell with Jennifer Lopez. I think Vincent D'Onofrio plays a serial killer who kidnaps people and puts them in a cell and slowly fills it up with water and then leaves clues for the police to find him. Vince Vaughn plays the copper on his tail, but they find him, but he ends up in a coma or something. And they've got to find his last victim. So anyway, luckily Jennifer Lopez is some scientist who's developed a way for him to go into people's minds. It's a little bit like Dreamscape, which came out in the 80s with Dennis Quaid. A little bit like that, but different. More gruesome. So she goes into Vincent D'Onofrio's mind. So we get all these weird, nightmare dream imagery and stuff like that. Horses that get chopped up into slices and stuff like that. And it is a really good film. It is really another one that I haven't seen for a while, but it is a really good film. And well worth a look. I think they did the sequel, didn't they, which I've not seen. Or they're doing a remake. But anyway, the most famous scene is the horse that gets chopped up into slices. Looks really good. That said, some great imagery. It went on to do, is it The Immortals? Tarsum Singh did The Immortals with Henry Cavill, which I've never seen. But anyway. Justin says, the OG is the best. The original, the original Invisible Man or the original Hollow Man. But Kevin Bacon is up there. The Cell is good. Christopher Lambert one. What were you on about? Christopher Lambert in Invisible Man, are you on about? I don't know. Are you on about The Cell? I don't know, Justin. You're confusing me now. Anywho, so yes, The Cell, well worth a look. Suspenseful, brilliant, and visionary. Yeah, it was definitely visionary. Lots of weird stuff going on. And a good performance from Jennifer Lopez. And she looked fine in that weird costume she had to wear. But anyway, next up, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. I really like this film. Got a pasting when it came out. Obviously, the sequel to the Blair Witch Project. Directed by some bloke whose name I can't remember. It was like a documentarian. He'd done like documentaries before. Begins with T, I think. So I'm looking it up. Hey, Joe Berlinger. Don't even have a T in his name. Where did they get T from? No. Joe Berlinger directed this one. As I said, it's a sequel, not to the film. Beowulf. The Christopher Lambert Beowulf. I've not seen that one. I only know the animated one. But anyway. I have to look for that now. I'll have to look for that one. Is the monster good in it? Anyway. Where were we? Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. Not really a sequel to the first film, but a sequel to... Because it's not a found footage film, although they do use video and film in it as a plot device. But it's a film based on the success of the first film. Obviously, the Blair Witch Project became, at the time, essentially the most successful film ever made, because it was produced on a budget of a few $1,000s. And then, went and grossed hundreds of millions of dollars. So, pound for pound, it was the most, successful film ever made at the time. Justin says, "Oh, terrible Blair Witch 2 and 3 also." Just the Blair Witch, didn't like that, but I do like this one. Because it's different. They decided not to go with the found footage style. It's just a straightforward story about a chap who's cashing in on the success of the film. He lived in the area, of Burkittsville or whatever. So he'd take tours out into the woods to visit the areas where they filmed the Blair Witch Project. But things go wrong. Taking some tourists out, things go wrong, and some like a rival team get murdered, and stuff starts. They start accusing people in the group of being a witch and stuff like that, and start seeing things. And the thing of the, what is it now? In the trope of this film is that everything you see on film might not be really happening, but everything you see on video is what actually happened. So when we see weird things happening in the film, like ghosts appearing and stuff like that, that might not be happening. But if somebody set a camera up and we see the footage from the camcorder, we're seeing what really happened. And I think it's a really good film. The director were a bit miffed because the producers took over it. Haxon Films kind of took over it, and or was it Artisan, whatever, took over it and basically chopped it up or whatever, edited it differently to what he wanted to do. But I still think it's worth a look. And let's say a lot of people, like Justin, don't like it, but I really do. I wasn't a fan of The Blair Witch, which came out quite recently. I don't think that would have, because I went back to the found footage thing. But anyway, it didn't work. But I think this one worked because it was different. But there we go, Justin saying The Blair Witch Project, a classic. Anything after terrible? No, I didn't. Sorry, he says, you're fine. We can't all like the same stuff, but you're wrong. This is a good film. Anywho, moving on before me and Justin come to blows. Speaking of Mission to Mars, Red Planet, another really good Mars film that didn't do well. Hang on, before we go, let's go back to Blair Witch 2, because Windgrace is putting his two penneth in. How much witch could a Blair Witch witch if a Blair Witch could witch? That much. Right, Red Planet. Moving on. Good film about Mars again. Val Kilmer, Carrie Moss, Tom Sizemore, and others who I can't remember. But they're going to Mars. I think they're trying to, what is it now? They're doing something on Mars. They're using some sort of moss or algae or something to basically terraform Mars or part of Mars, something like that. Something goes wrong. Some of them end up trapped down on Mars. Carrie Moss is up in a spaceship, and they end up. The survivors of what happens on the surface end up with a killer robot, I think called Amy. I could be wrong. I think it's Amy. Killer robot on hunting them down, and they've got to avoid her. And it's really a really well made film. Apart from they end up being able to breathe on Mars, a bit like Total Recall, but different. But yeah, it is good. And thankfully, the Russians save them in the form of some sort of probe that had a return sample thing that they can use. Spoilers, to get back to their spaceship. Yes, Terence Stamp. Yes, he's in it as well, isn't he? And there's some others as well. I'm going to have to look it up. Because I'm sure there's some other famous actors in. Red Planet 2000. Red Planet film, directed by Anthony Hoffman, who I've never heard of. Who else is in it? Benjamin Bratt, yes, he's in it as well. And Simon Baker. Is he the one that ends up going over a cliff? Could be, don't know. Yeah. And Tom Sizemore, before he went mental. I think it was Tom Sizemore that went a bit off the deep end. I think it was. Doing like, homemade prawn films. Sure it was him. I'm sure I saw him on something doing that. What were the budget for this film? $80 million. Box office $33.5 million. Let's have a look at Mission to Mars. See what that did. If I can find it. There we go. Mission to Mars. That had a budget of $100 million, but had a box office of $111 million. So we say, oh, we made a profit. No, you didn't. But at least you went over your production budget, which is fair enough. But anyway, Terence Stamp was in Red Planet. Yes, he was. Can't remember what happened to him. I'm sure he died in it at some point. But yeah, Red Planet is a good film. Not as good as Mission to Mars, in my opinion, but well worth a watch with some good effects in it. Anyway, so there we go. Next up, The Sixth Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger. About clones and stuff. Who else is in this? This fella from Space Above and Beyond is in this, isn't it? I'm going to look this one up as well. The Sixth Day. Oh, there we go. Directed by Roger Spottiswoode, who also did... I was getting mixed up. Did he do a James Bond film, or is it the other one? I'll have to look him up as well now. Roger Spottiswoode. He also did Shoot to Kill, a.k.a. Deadly Pursuit, which is really good. Sidney Poitier. Turner and Hooch, Air America, Terror Train. Yes, Tomorrow Never Dies. Yes, he did a James Bond film, Tomorrow Never Dies. Thought it were him. I was getting mixed up with another one, and I can't remember the other one's name. Yeah. Like I said, he went through a phase where he did some good stuff. Shoot to Kill, a.k.a. Deadly Pursuit. Really, really good film. Anywho, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tony Goldwyn, Michael Rooker, and Robert Duvall. That's it, a film about cloning. And he gets replaced by, a clone of himself. And he's got to, prove he exists, essentially. I think the clones, is it the clones that, what generation of clone they are? Because they end up with, is it something on the lip or something on their eyelid? Like these dots appear or something somewhere, don't they? Oh, I've got to look up the other fella. I'm going to think of a different film. Could be. What's the film? I might be getting this mixed up with like Eraser or something like that. Let's have a look. No, he's there. No, yes, Rodney Rowland is in it as well. Yes, Rodney Rowland, who played the tank in Space Above and Beyond. Anyway, it is a lot of fun. It's set in the near future, so they're like these helicopters that are not really helicopters, but anyway, they look cool. And he's got to stop these bad guys who are using clones to do bad things and all that. And it is a lot of fun. Did it come out roughly the same time as Minority Report? Is it? Because there were a lot of films similar-ish, weren't there? But anyway, who wrote it? Cormac Wibberley and Marianne Wibberley. What the hell are they? Let's have a look. Known as the Wibbleys, husband and wife screenwriting team. What have they done? I Spy, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, Bad Boys 2, Blimey, National Treasure, Book of Secrets. Blimey, bless them. I bet they're set up for life now after those films. Anywho, moving on. Unbreakable, M. Night Shyamalan's follow-up to Sixth Sense. Not a sequel, it's nothing to do with it, but his follow-up to it. He continued his... it's with the Sixth Sense, he started his streak of, having his twist endings. So he carried it on here. This has a twist ending. Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson. Basically a superhero story. Because it's about comic books and stuff. Samuel L. Jackson is like a comic book. It's not like he doesn't own a comic store. He has like a museum of comic books. Mr. Glass. Don't get me started on them. But yeah, really good film. Bruce Willis survives a train crash, and we find out he's kind of got a superpower. He's invincible essentially, apart from water. But anyway, and then he ends up. He can touch people and see what they're going to do in the future, if they're going to do something bad. And he ends up with Samuel L. Jackson as his mentor. Obviously, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but things go awry. Anyway, he's on the trail of a serial killer, and but it has a twist at the end. It is a really, really good film. Some think it's M. Night Shyamalan's best film. I think Sixth Sense is his best film. But anyway, Wingris says, I thought they were great through the village. People hate it, but that's the last one I still really liked. Yeah, I'm trying to think now. I said the village had its twist ending, didn't it? Did Lady in the Water have a twist ending? I can't remember. I've only seen that once, and I didn't hate it, but I can't remember what happened in it. Did it go off twist endings for a while? I've never seen The Last Airbender, so I don't know what happened in that. I'm trying to think what other films he did, and I'm blanking. But then he ended up doing that film with I can't remember his blooming name now. I tell you, I hate trying to remember names. Bear with me. Why is it? Have I picked the wrong film? I don't know. No, I'll just do it this way. No, American filmmaker. Yes, it was called Split. Why didn't you find it then? Stupid. He ended up doing James McAvoy. Split with James McAvoy, which turned out, spoilers, I'll spoil this, I don't care, turned out to be a sequel to Unbreakable, which I thought was stupid. Didn't mention it all the way through the film. Then they had this tacked-on ending, which annoyed the hell out of me. And everybody says, as soon as the music came on, you should know. No, nobody knew. Until we saw Bruce Willis at the end. And then they did Glass. And my son really liked Split. And then he wanted to go see Glass at the cinema. So we went to see the cinema, and he was really disappointed because Glass wasn't very good. It wasn't rubbish, but it wasn't very good. Wingray says, Last Airbender was horrible. I've not seen it. Yes, Split. I got there in the end. Unbreakable and Split, both good. Glass, terrible. Yeah, Split were good, apart from the tacked-on bloody ending. It didn't have to be a sequel to Unbreakable. But anyway, Unbreakable is a great film. It is really, really good, with some great scenes in it. And one of Bruce Willis's best films, apart from Sixth Sense, which I really like. Hang on. And then he made the one with his daughter, Trap. Yes. The film's not bad, but, it's not great either. They kind of left that open for a sequel, didn't they? But anyway, moving on. Another Disney one, Emperor's New Groove. It's been a while since I've seen this, but I do remember laughing my ass off at it. Because it's just funny. It's just a funny film. It's a bonkers film. The Emperor of the Incas, I think it's Incas, ends up trapped in the form of a llama, and it's up to John Goodman, who's another Inca person, to get him back to the royal city or whatever, and defeat the evil machinations of her, played by Eartha Kitt. And it's a lot of fun, and it's really, really fun. It's got a really funny script, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm going to look it up. Emperor's New Groove. 2000 animated film. Who directed it? Mark Dindal. Never heard of him. Who wrote it? David Reynolds. Never heard of him. But who did the music for it? John Debney. Heard of him. Budget $100 million for a blooming cartoon. But anyway, what's it called? Cuzco, the Emperor Cuzco, obviously named after the city, but spelt differently. Yes, and she's called Isma, is Eartha Kitt's character. What's he called? He's like Isma's right-hand man. but he's a bit thick. Kronk, because they did Kronk's New Groove, didn't they, afterwards? Her right-hand man, but kind of a goodie at the same time. He's a bit thick. He has his own theme. He's going like, "This is my theme," and all that's just funny. You've got to see it to laugh at it. We'll move on. Right, next up, Dracula 2000. I've only included this because it's got 7 of 9 in it. Technically, it is the only reason I've included it. I think it's got other titles, hasn't it? But I remember it as Dracula 2000. Got the DVD, Johnny Lee Miller, and other people that we don't care about apart from 7 of 9. Is it... I forgot his name now. As Dracula. What's his name? Windgrace likes it because it's got 7 of 9 in it. I have to look this up now. I forgot his bloody name now. You've got to shout his name. Gerard Butler. There we go. It's got Gerard Butler in, hasn't it, Dracula? Sure it has. Dracula 2000. Filmed by Patrick Lussier. I think would go on to do like... Did he do Texas Chainsaw? One of them. Did he? Let's have a look. White Noise The Light, which wasn't bad. What else has he done? I thought he did one of the Texas Chainsaws. Obviously not. My Bloody Valentine 3D. Yes, he did that one. Terminator Genesis, Drive Angry. Fair enough. Right. What else? Editor. And stuff. I'm obviously thinking of somebody else. But yes, a good film. Yes, Leonidas as Gerard Butler. I think it is Gerard Butler, isn't it? Yes, it is, yes. As Dracula. And we find out, spoilers, I don't care, spoilers for this, Dracula is actually Judas Iscariot. All the way 2,000 years ago, he betrayed Jesus. And he's, not only did he get his 40 pieces of silver or whatever it was, he got turned into a vampire for some reason. 30 pieces of silver. So I just read it there. But anyway, everybody just watches it for Jerry Ryan because she's well worth looking at as one of Dracula's brides. And so there we go. Also the Phantom. Yes, Gerard Butler was the Phantom in the movie version of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, which I've got actually on DVD. Didn't buy it for myself. It was a Christmas present for my mum, and when my mum passed away, it kind of ended up in my care. Never watched it. So the beginning bit of that, I kind of lost interest, but the beginning bit was interesting because it had I can't remember the name. Super fit actress, a British actress. She's been in a film I did for Friday Night Apart with Fear called The Cottage, which I'm going to look up now. I can't remember the name. She was like a British actress and bloody hell, film. There we go. British actress and singer. What's she called? Jennifer Ellison. Well fit. She was in it at the beginning, singing away. But The Cottage is fun. Anyway, where were we? Moving on from Dracula 2000. Right. Next up, Shadow of the Vampire, which I've got the DVD out there. I was supposed to do this for a Friday Night Appointment with Fear. I still haven't got round to it. I'll get round to it eventually. John Malkovich, William Dafoe, the true story of the making of Nosferatu. Murnau, excuse me, Murnau's silent movie classic from 1922, 26, or whatever. Where we find out that Max Schreck, who played Count Orlok in Nosferatu, was actually a vampire, and he goes around killing half the crew and stuff like that. Where they're filming, and it's funny in places, serious in others. It's kind of played light-hearted mostly, but anyway, it is a lot of fun. It is a good film and worth looking at. And but obviously Max Schreck really wasn't a vampire. He's been in other films apparently, but anyway, so there we go. Shadow of the Vampire, well worth a look. Who directed it? I can't remember. E. Elias Mahig. Who else is in it? Carrie Elwes is in it as well. Eddie Izzard. I always remember Eddie Izzard being it because he does his scene. Playing because he's one of the actors in. He's playing one of the actors in Nosferatu, and he does his scene where he opens the shutters and just does like silent acting. Udo Kier as well, Catherine McCormack, and yeah, great film. I think it was a BBC co-production. Yes, there we go, BBC Films. There we go. I thought I remember seeing it at the beginning of the film, in association with the BBC. Anywho, Wingray says The Bag. I don't know. Shadow of the Vampire, very good. Yes, it is. We will get round to it on Friday Night Apart with you eventually. The bad guy from Batman. Yes. Willem no, hang on. Sorry, I think of Spider-Man then. Bad guy Spider-Man. Which is the bad guy from Batman? Don't know. Are we on about one of these actors? Or somebody else have said, I don't know. Udo Kier? I don't know. Again, you've gone over my head. As usual, because I'm an idiot. Anyway, we'll move on. You'll tell me in a minute. Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock. Yay. Does everybody like this film? I don't know. I do. I think it's a lot of fun. Michael Caine, Benjamin Bratt, Candice Bergen. Who directed this? Donald Petrie. From Batman. Hang on. Christopher Walken. From Batman Returns. No, Christopher Walken in Shadow of the Vampire. Did I say that? I don't think I did. You don't like it for Shatner? Yes, isn't it, briefly? Yes, I'd forgot about that. It's been a while since I've seen this. But anyway, Sandra Bullock, technically at her best in this film. I think she's one of her best films. She plays a cop who's she's supposed to be this rough and ready, female cop. But she's got to go undercover in a beauty pageant. And obviously she brushes up well. Yes, his character, isn't it? Yes, it is, of course. How could I bloody remember that? Yes, in Batman Returns. Yes. How could I forget that? Yes, it's obvious, isn't it? Tell you, I'm thick. I'm thick as pig shit, aren't I? Bloody am. Anyway, she's got to go undercover because somebody's threatening to kill somebody or whatever in this beauty pageant, so she goes undercover as one of the contestants, and hijinks and stuff ensue, and it is a really good film. She plays a really good part. I think she was one of the producers as well, I think. Have a look. Yes, she was a producer as well. Donald Petrie, he's done other films as well, and I can't think what. But, look, William Shatner gets his credit there. Look, Ernie Hudson as well. What's Donald Petrie done as well? I think he's done some big films, I think. Probably not, knowing me. Right, Donald Petrie. Let's have a look. What's he done? Mystic Pizza. Never seen it. Heard of it. Grumpy Old Men. That's a good film. I remember seeing that. A lot of TV he's worked on, MacGyver, etc. I thought he'd done some pretty big films, but not really. Richie Rich, so not massive films. Films everybody knows about, but my favourite Martian. I thought he'd done... I'm obviously mixing him up with somebody else. Is he related to somebody else? I'm thinking to Daniel Petrie, I think. Am I? Maybe. Let's have a look. Daniel Petrie, Canadian film director. What's he done? Is it him I'm thinking of? Fort Apache, the Bronx. Cocoon, the Return. That's what I'm thinking of. Where I'm sat crying. Right, that's what I'm thinking of. That's the Petrie I remember. Right, where were we? I mean, Shatner had a hit song from this movie, did he? Oh, I can't remember. Miss United States, need to go listen to it again. Does he actually sing it? Probably not. Anyway, Miss Congeniality, well worth a look. As I said, she looks well in it. It is funny when we first see her all glammed up, because as I said, she's supposed to be rough and ready and she don't give her monkeys. But then the glamour up, and when we first see her, I think she falls over in high heels. But it is good stuff. Right, next up, Castaway, Tom Hanks with his bit, what is it, a volleyball or something. Wilson. Yeah, again, I think this one's loosely based on a true story, isn't it? Robert Zemeckis film. His plane crashes or blows up in midair, whatever, but he ends up on an island for God knows how long with a volleyball. I think it's a volleyball. Is it a basketball? Whatever. As his only friend. But he escapes. He gets off the island. Spoilers, he gets off the island and survives for so many years, then gets off the island and is rescued. And he's got to go back to his wife, who I think's got remarried by this time. And that's the bit that we don't care about. We just want to see him on the island. It's a good film. It's a good film. A good performance from Tom Hanks, as usual. Music by Alan Silvestri. So there you go. As I said, the Robert Zemeckis film. Yeah. Well worth a look. Again, another film I haven't seen for a long time. But the plane crash scenes were good. The plane blowing up in midair or whatever. A bit like Lost. But anyway. Next up, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This is a weird one. For me, anyway. I'm not a big fan of martial arts films. But this one was pretty good. I quite enjoyed this one. I said Michelle Yeoh, Chow Yun-fat and other people. But lots of wire work going on. Don't ask me the story. I can't remember. I just remember quite enjoying it. I've only seen it a couple of times. But I thought it's worth including in the list because it's important. I'm sure there's lots of films come out in the year 2000 that I've not included in this list that I might have seen. But I've not included them for whatever reason. Because maybe the list would have been a million miles long. But Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is well worth a look. And I think it won lots of awards, didn't it? Let's have a look. Oh, crikey. Directed by Ang Lee, by the way. Right, what awards did it win? Or did it win any? I don't know. Where are we? Box office. Accolades. Academy Awards. Right. Won Best Hollywood. Oh, no, that's Emmy Awards. 73 Academy Awards. Best Foreign Language Film. Best Art Direction. Best Cinematography. From Peter Powell. I've seen his name recently. What have I seen Peter Powell's name in recently? I was watching a documentary. Oh, that's it. I watched a documentary on the Chucky films. It's on Shudder. Is it Shudder? Yeah, it's on Shudder. The doc of Chucky. I'm watching that. And Peter Powell, the cinematographer for... I forgot his name. Ronnie Wu. I can't remember his name. The director of Child's Play 3, 2, I can't remember, but he was the cinematographer on one of the Child's Play films. Maybe two of them, I don't know. But anyway, Peter Powell, remember. Peter Powell, cool name. But yes, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, fascinating film. That's a great martial arts in it. I'm sure the story's fascinating, but I can't really remember. The skate part with the absence tooth, oh my. I don't remember that. Oh, you know about William Shatner? I don't know. But hated Helen Hunt after this film. I'm still on about Miss Congeniality. I think we are, aren't we? I don't think Helen Hunt's in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But you never know. But moving on. Snatch, another film. I think I've only seen it once. I thought I'll include it because I did enjoy it. Abscess. I don't remember that bit. That in Miss Congeniality, I don't remember. But anyway. Yeah, a Guy Ritchie film about like gypsy gangsters, gypsy fighting and gangsters and stuff like that. Typical Guy Ritchie film. In Castaway. Oh, right. Fair enough. Oh, yes. Yes, I remember now. Yes, it's all coming back to me. Yes. A fun film. A lot of people, think this is amazing, but I just thought it were all right. I don't even know why I include it, to be honest. I genuinely don't, because I can't remember what happens in it. I remember Brad Pitt's like a bare knuckle fighter or something. Whatever. I'm sure it's great. Next, The Dish. This is a nice film. It's a nice film. Another one that I think I've only seen once, but I did really enjoy it. Loosely based on a true story of basically the Australian radio telescope that is tracking the Apollo 11 mission to land men on the moon, and they're keeping the signal going and all that, and it's all about their efforts to do that, and it's all kind of light-hearted comedy-ish with Sam Neill. Who else is in it? Sam Neill. People you've never heard of. Lots of Australian actors. Who directed it? Yeah, as I said, people you've never heard of. It's an Australian film, but it is a lovely, light-hearted, sort of like drama comedy, whatever, about them struggling to keep up with the technology of they're living in this rural area, but they're in control of this high-tech satellite dish, radio telescope that's collecting the feed from the Apollo 11 mission. But and I'm sure in real life, it may have been these that actually recorded the signal, and that's why we have the footage we have of the Apollo 11 moon landing, because NASA overwrote their tapes. Anyways, that's The Dish. Yes, well worth a look. What's that say? As Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon, our only link was a satellite dish in rural Australia with a few bugs and a few hundred sheep. Based on the true story of what we didn't see, as I said. True story. But anyway, probably more true than U571. Anywho, was that the last one? Yes, I think that's the last one. Right, that's it. We're at the end. Right, so we'll go through the honourable mentions again. Can't remember what I've said. The Dish, lovely film, well worth a look. Snatch, don't know why I included that. I've only seen it once. I remember I enjoyed it, probably why I included it, but I don't really know why. And I can't remember what happens in it. Can't. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, fascinating film. Just for Michelle Yeoh, really, because I like Michelle Yeoh. And is she still married to Jean Todt, the little Frenchman who used to control Formula 1? He used to be the boss of Ferrari F1 team, and then he became the boss of F1. And I always thought, why is she married him? They're nothing alike. But anyway. Then Castaway, Abscess and everything. I can't remember a huge amount about it, but it is a great film. Miss Congeniality, one of my favourite films. I don't know why this didn't make the top 5, to be honest. I really like that film. Shadow of the Vampire, lot of fun. Dracula 2000, it's got 7 of 9 in it. She mentions her boobs once. Emperor's New Groove, really funny. Funnier than you would expect. Well, I think it is. Unbreakable, a good dark superhero movie. Better than Dark Man. I was never a fan of Dark Man. The Sam Raimi film. Could never get into it. Anyway. Schwarzenegger, The Sixth Day, cloning and all that stuff. Fun stuff. Red Planet, not as good as Mission to Mars, but, not far off. Justin's favourite film, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. I really like it. I really, really do. Some good special features on the DVD, The Curse of Esreva and stuff in reverse and all that stuff. Hidden imagery in the film. The Cell, speaking of imagery, lots of weird and funky nightmare imagery in this one. A horse gets chopped up. I'm sure it was fine. But it's not as gruesome as you might imagine if you haven't seen it. But it is a good film. Hollow Man, best. Invisible Man film out there. Anyway. To each their own. It's on about Blair Witch 2. I really like it. I'm gonna do it on a Friday night apart with Fear just to annoy Justin. One day. Scary Movie, the first one. Lot of fun. Very, very rude. Perfect Storm, the first DVD I ever owned because it was free with a DVD player. Great CG Water. Mel Gibson in The Patriot. True story about how a man from Australia, about how Mad Max saves America. I know he was born in America and raised in Australia, wasn't he, Mel Gibson? But anyway. Me, Myself and Irene. Again, quite rude, but, not for kids. But still fun. And Jim Carrey, in usual hilarious form. Chicken Run, Mel Gibson again. He's not on. No, is that him there? No, he's not on this. Oh no, he's there. That's his character. That's the Mel Gibson chicken with his bandana. The Great Escape, but with chickens. Great film. It is a great film, and a decent game for the PS1. My son's got it, or he used to have it. Titan AE. Great animated sci-fi. Why didn't it do well? I don't know, but it is good. A lot of people, have a lot of fond memories of this film. I don't know why it would, it destroyed the studio. Never mind. Mission Impossible 2. I don't remember what happens in it. Is this the one with the helicopter through the Channel Tunnel, or was that the first one? I can't remember. Battlefield Earth. Hey, little fella. That's what he says, doesn't it? Stupid film, but fun. A guilty pleasure. A definite guilty pleasure. U571. Good film. Good not swashbuckling. Like a boy's own action adventure, isn't it? About capturing an Enigma machine. It was also the era where Disney movies started doing poor. Atlantis and Treasure Planet, they're all loved more now. I think Atlantis, The Lost Empire, I think it's next, 2001, which I really liked. That's one of my favourite Disney animated films, probably because there's no singing in it. Atlantis is really good. Pitch Black, a good film, the first of the Riddick series, but not my favourite. Probably my least favourite of the Riddick series, but never mind. And then Disney's Dinosaur. I said the trailer blew me away when I saw it in the cinema, but still worth a look. A good flick. Right, so that's me. The honourable mentions. We'll go through my top 5 again, just to remind you. Here we go. And my top 5 for 2000 was Gladiator, starring Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott. His best film, in my opinion. X-Men, from Bryan Singer. The first of the blockbuster modern superhero films. Mission to Mars. I love that film. Been trying to find it on Blu-ray. I really want to do it on Magnificent Mondays, and I can't find the Blu-ray. And I've got a DVD copy, but I can't find that. It's in a box somewhere, and I can't find. I don't know where to put it. You can get it on Blu-ray, but it's one of them that's really expensive. So, never mind. I'll get it eventually. Mission to Mars. Final Destination, the first of the Final Destination franchise. I said directed by James Wong, not James Wan, James Wong. I said an X-Files episode made into a movie, a potential X-Files episode that they made into a movie. I said Glenn Morgan as well, one of the writers and producers. Glenn Morgan, who was in the film Trick or Treat. I think it was his only acting role on film, became a producer and director and stuff after that. And ended up marrying, what's her name? Can we see it on here? No, I forgot her name. She was in Space Above and Beyond as well. The actress, is it Kirsten or Kristen? Can't remember. I say Kristen Cloak. Glenn Morgan ended up marrying her, the jammy sod. Anyway. Anywho, hang on, gone wrong way. And finally, Space Cowboys from Clint Eastwood, who stars and directs a great adventure film about some old fogies going into space. I think they even mention when John Glenn went up. When he was a senator, he went up in the space shuttle into John Glenn. They even mention that. But the best parts are where they're training and we learn about how, because they're old men, they've got false teeth and they can't see, and well, he can't. And Donald Sutherland. But it's a lot of fun with a poignant and kind of sad ending. But anyway, so there we go. So that's my top 5 favourite films of the year 2000, and I don't know how many honourable mentions. I'll tell you in a minute. I've got my list here somewhere. Where is it? Where have I put you? I'm here somewhere. Oh, I'm at the wrong end of the folder. There we go. But scroll down. Why don't I just delete them? I don't know. I just put a line through them. What are you doing? All right. So I'm talking to myself. There we go, 2000. Right, we had 25 honourable mentions. So what's coming up in the year 2001? No Space Odysseys. We've got fantasy, animation, horror, game adaptations, another Ridley Scott film. This was really hard to pick a top 5, I must admit. It was really hard to pick a top 5, and quite a lot in the honourable mentions could go in my top 5. So, and they might do yet. I might change my mind before we get to it. But anyway, the sequels, lots of blockbuster movies. Some great stuff. Some great stuff to come in 2001. I guess I didn't realise how big of a gap between Insurrection and Nemesis. I don't know. About 4 years, 3 years. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. But anyway, no Star Trek Nemesis in 2001, is there? No, must be after. Is it 4? Anyway, right, so we're done and dusted. We'll leave it there. I'll try and finish watching my Star Trek Voyager for next week. We'll see. If I don't, I'll do 2001. I'm struggling. I think I'm only on episode 3 or something like that of season 2. And I'm a bit cross with Voyager at the moment. Not because of the series, but because of Tim Russ. He's annoyed me. Tim Russ has annoyed me because of his political views. I'm not, people are allowed their political views, but, they have to just go on about it on social media. They're allowed to, I suppose, but whatever. First Amendment and all that stuff, whatever, but it's annoying. It's annoying. He says, I thought it was 2 or 3 years. Well, it was 4. You were close. What's a year between friends? Anywho, we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share and drop a comment and all that stuff. Tell me your top 5 favourite films of 2000. I'm sure there'll be some different ones to mine. I'm sure there are. But anyway, so we'll leave it there. Right, so thanks, Wingrace and Justin. Thanks, Justin, for the super stickers. Hugely appreciated. Did anybody else pop in? I better check Anta on Rumble. Make sure nobody's dropped a message in Rumble. Just bear with me. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Right. I've pressed a button. What have I pressed? What have I done here now? Also the Phantom. I've clicked on something. Where the hell is it? There we go. So I'm stupid. Everyone has an opinion. Yes, they have. And they're all valid except for mine, because I'm an idiot. A year is a long time. We only do these every 2 weeks. Or thereabouts. Sometimes longer. I can't remember when we did the last one. Anywho, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll see you.
That old Yorkshire Geek with stories